lengsel. Veadu i brösti arroganta, ge mig råd i reidens stund. Ge mig syndar som skiter och glöm mig alla kvarter till dybets bord. stillroganda. Ge mig råd i redens stund. Ge mig det syndar som skylter och lägg mig alla kvarter till livets bord.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. You can't see me. It's okay. I'll fix that. Hope everyone's doing well this morning. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to... It's evening here. Yeah, good morning to me. Right where I'm sitting, here in the United States, is 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:01 to be precise. And we are beginning our Saturday morning, Asatru, Norse Pagan, Heathen prayer service. Hi. My name's Reverend Ben Kowalski-Crack. I'm a Gothi with the Troth, and I'm here to conduct this prayer service. What are we going to do today? What I'm going to walk through today is a version of Norse Pagan, Asatru, Heathen prayer that you can do at home for your own practice. What we're going to do first is we're going to go through each part of this thing over here to my right, this threefold method here. We're going to go through each step. We're going to talk about what we're going to do. Then we're going to actually do it together. And then we're going to stop for a question and answer. Sound good to you? Good. And welcome. Oh, hello, Senpai. You've noticed me again. Welcome and good morning to you. Good evening where you are. Now, let's start by talking about where this comes from. Is this something that was pulled out of the pages of the sagas, out of the Eddas? What do we know about Asatru, Heathen, and Norse Pagan prayer? People will say not much, and they're correct in that there is no one single picture of what Norse Pagan, Asatru, or Heathen prayer notice I'm using the past tense, looked like in the pre-Christian world. For us today, a lot of us who practice this religion look to that period as being the time where we are trying to copy or imitate. We want to know what they did so we can imitate it here. This is why prayer has been so frustrating for people, is because there is no one single example of a person praying. There are, however, many examples of, in the literature, people praying at different points or making offerings or doing some kind of religious action. This that I built here is called a threefold method, and yes, I built it, I made it up, is built off of those descriptions. The sagas and the Eddas tend to describe prayer as a physically involved process. They kneel, they bow, they prostrate. You see this in the pages of the sagas, and I am recording that here. So, what do we begin with? We begin by orienting ourselves. We turn in a particular direction when we want to pray, and a lot of people want to know, is there a particular direction I should pray in? Well, let me tell you. So first, if you have an altar, which I do, you can see my hand here on the altar cam. Hello. The altar is in front of me. If you have an altar or a shrine, simply face that. You don't have to have one though. And if you're just getting started, you probably don't. That's okay. You don't have to wait until you get an altar. I'm going to tell you which way to face. So, if it is morning like it is here, and the sun's coming up, you face to the east. If it is night, or the sun is going down, you face to the north. Both of these directions are attested in two different places. I believe one of them is in a saga, and the other one is in Bede, I think. I combine them together depending on time of day. So these were not originally combined anywhere, but there is attestation to both directions. So if morning face east, if evening face north, if you have an altar face that. Next, what do you do to open your prayer? Well, in the olden days, what people used to do, at least in America, is we used to do something called the hammer rite, which is hammer in the north, hail and hallow this holy stead. Hammer in the east, hail and hallow this holy stead. Hammer in the... You get it. It's very, very official, very, very old. And if you've been around in heathenry for, 10 years plus, you've seen this done. You've probably even done it yourself. The second way that people do it is, I have a candle. This is my candle. Not really a candle, but it's my imitation candle. What they do is they take the candle and they circumambulate, walk around the space to hallow it. I don't have that kind of space. My right hand is touching a desk. My left hand is touching a wall. I don't really have the space, and I'm assuming that you don't either, right? A lot of us practice in our apartments, in our rooms, wherever it is that we have space. This is a basement normally. As you can see, this is a gym sometimes. This is an office sometimes. We don't have a lot of space to do what we do. So hallowing this space is going to require something that's really easy and very small. I have you covered. I took a tip from our friends from the East. That's our Buddhist friends, our Hindu friends. What they do, and what we're gonna pick up from them, is they ring a bell or ding something like this, or they clap their hands. So if you have a bell or you have something to ring or some kind of object, you would ring that or ding that 3 times. If you have none of those things, you can clap 3 times. Once again, you do not have to wait to get ritual objects in order to pray or offer or anything like that. You can just do that right now if you want to. Today could be the day that you start being pagan. You don't need to wait. There's no requirement to wait before you get like a nice altar or a bell or anything like that. Again, just face a certain direction, either east or north, depending on what time of day it is, and you could just clap your hands. Easy as. So after doing that 3 times, we then come to kneeling. Oh, actually, first, should back up. Bow. So I bow first towards the direction I'm praying in. Then I come to kneeling. Okay. After kneeling, I then do a quick blessing on myself. Touch my hand to my forehead, say bless my thoughts. Hand to my throat, say bless my words. Hands extended in front of me, say bless my deeds. And that's how we go about doing Norse Pagan prayer to open it. Okay, so that's our opening. I'm now kneeling, just like I'm doing right now. And now we open the prayer proper. So this is where we actually do the speaking and the prostrating. The first thing that I will say is I believe it's verse 2 of the Sigdrifamal, which is Hail Day, Hail Sons of Day. And then verse 3, which is Hail the Gods, Hail the Goddesses. There is no existing Norse pagan prayer that comes to us directly from pre-Christian times. Hate to tell you. There's nothing that is clearly marked as a prayer. However, many people do know the poem, the Sigdrifamal. They know this speech of the Valkyrie. And knowing that, we repeat it. A lot of us have it memorized, myself included. So we say it as a prayer. Hail Day, Hail Sons of Day, and Hail the Gods, Hail the Goddesses. These two verses usually make up our Norse pagan prayer. And what I do with those is, after doing one, I'll prostrate, come back up. The second verse, prostrate, come back up. Then I'll do a third verse, which is based on the schematic, the structure of the first two. So if it's Hail Day, Hail Sons of Day, I'll say Hail Thor, Hail Son of Odin and of Earth, Hail our Protector and our Defender. You'll get it as we go along. Also, I am open to taking any kinds of requests that anyone has in chat. So chat, if you have any gods or goddesses that you would like acknowledged or have a prayer to, speak a verse to, please go ahead and put that in the chat. I will read it and do it. So I'm here for you. So next up, after doing the prostrations, after doing each verse, I then come back up and we do a short meditation. Now this meditation is on the, what would I say I do a meditation on? I keep forgetting. It's basically about the nature of prayer as divine encounter. So it is any prayer, any offering is us encountering the divine. It's the individual subject with the absolute subject. It's that interaction. When we meditate on that, what I'm meditating on is, how do I take this moment of encounter with the divine? How do I take that out of this moment and into the rest of my life through seeking wisdom, speaking kindly and truthfully, and doing good deeds? So I meditate on wisdom, on truth, kindness, and compassion, and doing good deeds. That's the thing to meditate on. Moving into the rest of the day. After doing that meditation, I'll stand up, bow twice more. That gives us 3 bows total. And then that's it. That's done. As simple as it is. Okay. Did anyone have any requests for our prayer service today? Seeing none? Okay. We'll go into the prayer. You'll see some text displaying on the screen. Go with guidance for the oncoming week. Let me think. To whom shall we pray for guidance? Suppose it's what kind of guidance we're looking for. Suppose we could do a verse to Odin for wisdom. Suppose that's a good one. I usually throw it in for Thor. Yeah, we'll do Odin and Thor. How about that? Guidance for the coming week. Senpai, you got it. And professional guidance as well as good mental health. Ooh, love having good mental health. All right, we will do that. You'll see some text appear on the screen during the prayer service. That's just so that you guys can follow along with what's going on. All right. Let's get started. Bless my thoughts, bless my words, bless my deeds. Hail day, hail sons of day, hail night and her daughter. Look upon us with kind eyes, as we who are patient find peace. Hail the gods, hail the goddesses, hail the ever-giving earth. Bless us with wisdom and kind words and healing hands, lifelong. Hail Odin, hail Lord of Wisdom, hail the Wise Father. Guide us to wisdom this week, O Odin. Guide us to happiness. And protect and steel our minds. Hail Thor. Hail our friend. Hail our sustainer and our defender. Bless us, Thor, with protection, and bless and protect those who are innocent. The innocent victims of war, Thor. Protect the children. And guide all who suffer to safety. All right. Now we get into our meditation. Again, contemplating how we seek wisdom, speak kindly and truthfully, and do good deeds. We'll do about 1 or 2 minutes of meditation, and then we'll move on. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for that meditation. Now, I'll stand, bow twice more, and then we'll return to our questions and answers. All right. Thank you for joining us for morning prayer this morning. Here we are. Thank you once again around the world for those of you who joined us for this morning prayer service this Saturday morning. We are now in our questions and answer section. So you have a Gothi here in front of you, someone who has practiced Norse paganism for over 20 years. I have things that I can answer. Certainly can also answer questions about the Troth as well, the organization that I represent. I can certainly answer those questions as well if you have them. If you don't, I am more than happy to simply talk about questions that I've seen pop up in the community over the week. No questions, huh? Oh, hello. Senpai. Hello. So the question from Senpai is, after reading the standard Eddas, where can I seek reading and guidance? It feels as if there are too many places to look and so much to evaluate. Yeah. Yes. And the Eddas don't answer much, do they? To be honest. I almost feel like it's a bit like you walk into a Methodist church, right? And you look around and you say, what's all this about? What is this? What is all this stuff you're doing? And the pastor says, well, here's the Bible. And you look at the Bible and you read it and you say, this doesn't say anything about Methodists. There's no Methodism there's no Methodist church in here. You didn't explain anything. There are a couple different places to look, and while the Minnesotan in me hates being a self-promoter, the book that I would look to is Our Troth, Volume 1, 2, and 3. Volume 1 is going to be a large historical survey of everything. So it basically goes from like the bronze, even the Stone Age. It goes from talks about Norse religion from the Stone Age all the way to today. So that's volume 1. So that's a good way, I find, to get oriented as to what this religion is, how long it's been practiced, how it's been practiced in the past. And then there's volumes 2 and 3, which give more of a overview as to the theological and practical aspects of Norse paganism. So I would say Our Troth is a good book to look to next. You can get, and you don't actually have to buy Our Troth if you don't want to. The website, thetroth.org, has pretty much everything that's in Our Troth, just condensed and abbreviated and abridged for internet reading. So you should be able to find everything you need, at least from a getting started perspective, in terms of how do I go about practicing this religion. But as far as solid books to go to, it'd be Our Troth, Volume 1, 2, and 3. I'd recommend picking up, and Our Troth will have references to different sagas and other sources and things like that. You can certainly pick those up as well. But what I find is most helpful is having some kind of guidebook to Norse paganism as it exists today. Our Troth, volumes 1, 2, and 3 are probably the best you're going to find at a sort of a comprehensive look at how this religion started, how it's practiced today, and what you're going to find a majority of people do. I've also read A Practical Heathen's Guide to Asatru, but that felt quite busy. Does that make sense? It was good, but a lot. In which case, Our Troth is going to be even worse. if A Practical Heathen's Guide was too busy, Our Troth is going to be even worse, because it attempts to be as comprehensive of a source as you can possibly find. Especially volume 1. Volume 1 is an intimidating volume of information, and it is hard, and I think it is meant to be difficult. Even though I think Ben Wagner, the author, does a very good job of being, and he's a very sociable, amiable kind of fella, and that does come across, but he is also a college professor, and that also comes across as well. So as far as Practical Heathen's Guides go, yes, Patty LaFile's book is still, I think, even though people think it's a bit dated, I still think Patty's book holds up. As far as the Asatru that she is describing is very much the Asatru that a lot of people still practice today. And a lot of the things that she says are things that a lot of people still to this day believe. So it's still, I would say, I would judge these kinds of books more based on, not based on whether or not they're correct, but whether or not they match with the experience that you're going to find out there in the world. Do a majority of people think this? Are you going to find this out in the world? Like, especially when you're looking for community, what are you going to find out there? Then, are the volumes in any way able to be something that you can return to and revisit each time you wish to review or refresh your knowledge regarding a concept? I would, yes, but I would say it's dense. Like the difficulty with Our Troth is that it's dense. There is an index, of course, and you can look through subjects and find stuff. Is it something you return to in the sense of like a Bible or something like that, where it's like, I need guidance on something? It's not really friendly to that. It's very much or at least attempting to be, an academic level resource on this religion. So because for a time in heathenry, academics were incredibly important, and still are. Like, people do look at academics as being the standard, right? But there was this attempt, and I was part of it, in the, I would say, early to mid aughts, and early 2010s, early to mid 2010s, actually still all the way up into the 2020s, let's be real, to make heathenry more academically respectable in a lot of ways, and more academically rigorous. So, we had academic standards of evidence that we would challenge people to come up with to ground their religion, and everything else was labeled UPG. Unless you could ground something in an academic level citation. And even then, these debates would just like rage about different aspects of practice. I think the Loki worship was a really big fault line in that regard, where around 2019, when the Troth retracted the ban on hailing Loki at Grand Sumbul, that was kind of a watershed moment because the Troth has usually been looked at as being a place of academic rigor. That was sort of looked at as being as a moment of, oh, we're not just stuffy academics, we're practicing a religion now. Right. Like we're doing this. We're doing this now. So I'd say that yes, it is a resource that you can come back to, but it's not. It is academically thick, and can be in some cases intimidating and hard to read. So again, I would suggest the Troth's online resources before I suggest the book. The online resources are completely searchable, and they have more or less, mostly less, of what you're going to find in the book. But it's not like the book contains anything super secret that you would need to know or to read in order to practice this religion. I'm very much of the mind that you don't need an academic level degree or an academic level course in order to practice a religion. If you want to find out more about it, certainly, but even just to do something like this, like we're doing right here, even the most basic of information should be fine. You're not going to do anything wrong, I don't think. All right. Thank you guys so much for the questions, and thanks for being with us this morning. I'll answer this question though, Senpai. What other common topics brought up by other attendees recently? Wish I could remember. The only other thing that I recall, and I will end on this point, is what was it about? About getting I was reading on Reddit that there was someone becoming, frustrated or flustered with people doing cosplay. and I have to say that, and my answer to this is like, of course, if you are a serious religious person, tired of kneeling, but if you are a serious religious person and you see people kind of playing with your faith, or not taking it seriously, using it like a costume, yes, that's going to be aggravating, because a lot of us, and I think this is really important to understand, for a lot of us, this choosing this religion means that we are a different person than we would have been if we chose otherwise. This is kind of pulling from the philosophy of William James. A religion is a live option for us. It's momentous for us because it is a choice between it's not just a choice between being a religion and not being a religion. It's a choice between being two different people, two different lives, right? If I choose to become Asatru, the choice that I made 20 years ago to be Asatru has led me to this point. I would not be here if I had not chosen that 20 years ago. I chose a different life then, right? And so did you. So to think that I could just take this off, right? This robe, whatever, that I could just drop the act, right? Like that I'm acting, is impossible, because there is no other me to turn into. Whereas for someone who does cosplay, that's the very point, is to pretend to be someone else for a time and then go back to your real self. This is not, for me, nor for anyone who practices religion seriously, this is not cosplay. There is no thing to take off. I can't walk back 20 years and say, we're not going to do this. This is just fun. It's now my life. I'm now waking up at 5 in the morning to get ready to do this at 6. I'm going to be doing this again at 10. This orders my life. I'm ordained. I've married people in this religion, right? Because of the choice that I made 20 years ago. So yeah, I understand why people might be frustrated if others think that's what we're doing. If others think that what we are doing is cosplay. Because Viking cosplay is fun. Let's be real. It's fun. It's fun to do. You know, go for a weekend at the Viking Fest or whatever. That's fine. I think that's a fun hobby. But it's not our religion. It's not our faith. It's not who I am, and I don't think that's who most of us are either. So that is that. And oh, you guys got me talking extra. 6 minutes extra. Wow. All right. Well, Senpai, thank you so much for being here, for the questions and for the prayer requests. Thank you everyone else who came on in and joined us for the time that we had today. We will be back again this evening at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, to do one more prayer service for the day. And Troth members, tomorrow we have Sunday service at 10 a.m. Eastern, specifically for you. So thank you for joining us for our Asatru Norse Pagan Heathen prayer service. Thank you to the Troth for putting this on, for bringing me here. My name is Reverend Ben Kowalski Grehek. I will see you